Hey guys, how are you? It's Players Pass. I want to go over a deck profile for Yamamoto. A lot of people I don't see a lot online, especially on YouTube, really talk much about this deck in particular. I think this deck is amazing, and I think it can literally go bat to bat with Kurapika and other cards in the format. I'm still playing this in tournament, and people are just not seeing what's going on in this deck, and I'm just wrecking. Honestly, having one of the most fun times I'm having in this deck. And I just want to go over it. I mean, I'm literally hitting good locals, like hitting some get some good wins in this, you know? Let me go ahead and make this little image better. So this is my deck profile of my Yamamoto deck that's literally keeping me relevant in this Code Geass, JJK infested kind of Sakuna's finger, Gawain purple Geass thing, and this surprisingly keeping me in the game. So I wanted to go over real quick, and let's get into it. So I'm going to have 4 Unohanas. So cool thing about Unohana is that Unohana is a raid target, simple ability, just get to the hand. And then I'm going to run Ukatage. This is your standard, generate 2 energy. And I'm going to be really quick about that. I only run 8 zeros in this deck. And this is literally what I need. When he comes out in the field, boom, I'm getting my 2 energy. I'm going to ramp up as best I possibly can. Right now, I'm only running the 2 copies of the 1-drop Yamamoto. This is Shukuini Yamamoto. And I'm only running 2. He is a get to the hand card. I am playing 2 Shinji. This card is broken. I would love to play more of him, but he can get clunky. But he is absolutely insane. He gives another member of the 13 Court Squad Impact Plus, and he's just fire. His on trigger ability is going to give 3,000 stand something up, which is always beneficial, especially in a deck like this. And he's strong for 2,000. He costs 3,000 BP. Right now, for 2, we're going to have... I'm only running 3 copies of the Unohana. I'm very fair into believing when you're raiding, you don't necessarily need too many targets. You need enough targets, you know? So as of right now, I'm only running 3 of the draw trigger. And I love seeing her. Once you get into her, you know, you don't have to go ahead and pay that extra AP. You know, you can just drop her, have a body on board. It's always beneficial because, you know, you always have a raid target. And that +1 comes in clutch. Only downside about this card is that it doesn't have a trigger whatsoever. Next, we're going to play 4 copies of Sanjin. And I like him. He's a step 2 drop. And when he attacks, he can give another member 500 BP of the 13 core squad. Yeah, I mean, very simple step. 2 costs. You know, it's very important to get your 2 drops in this, especially with Yamamoto being a 7 cost. You want to definitely set up, and there's ways you can set up. You can set up turn 2, depending on how fast you can get it done. And people don't see that. They just see, oh, this one costs 7. Might not be as big as Kurapika, but when Yamamoto hits the board, you guys don't understand. It is a problem. I am going in for 5,000 with the impact. I'm bumping everybody up 2,000 BP, and it just turns menacing. I'm running Shinshui. I'm running him at 4, and he's also a 2 energy, and he has a trigger ability. Oh, speaking of which, Shinji's trigger ability is also the 3,000 bump, which is always nice. This trigger ability on the Shinji is the draw cap. So he's a nice draw. He costs 4, and his ability is he is double damage. He is at 25, so he is a little bit weaker for a 3 cost. However, to be a plus 2 damage, you know, that's pretty fire. Like 2 damage on that, and then buffing him up with Yamamoto later on in certain attacks. There's combinations where you can get 6 damage 1 turn. There's combinations where you're going to kill somebody like right then and there. It's very situational, but it's oh so good. A little difference that I've seen is a lot of people, when they're running their particular court squad builds, I see them either they're running a really intensive low end that they're just spamming a lot of little guys for that early turn damage to try and get that extra chip in until they get to a big guys. Me, I like this deck in particular because it's my most balanced mid-range, and I have everything hitting, and it works. Right now, this is my beast of a card. This is literally by far my favorite captain, just in general. He also has the ability of the plus 3,000. And as I said, that ability in trigger, that ability in life, that shit comes in handy. Excuse my French. That comes in handy very well. And the fact that he's cost 4, I sit on him. Don't sit on him. He can't have his BP reduced at all whatsoever. And during your turn, he becomes 5,000. So this for 4 costs 3. I only run it at 3 for spacing wise. I would always love to have him at a 4. But the reason why I have him at 3 is because I'm also playing the other Kenpachi. And this Kenpachi is sick. This Kenpachi is very situational, which is more lean towards the Hitsugaya form of the deck, where it's like you need multiple 13 core squad members of the same fraction, 6 or more, to have these abilities go off. So he can be situational. I like him a lot because he has impact. So I don't have to really worry about searching for impact. He does cost 2. He's a high cost card. 4 drop, 2 cost. When played, you BP. If something has 2,000 or less BP, you can sideline it. And if you have 6 or more affinity 13 court squad members, you can go up to 4,000. So he's essentially a kill card. His trigger is a draw card. Overall, broken. I don't feel that playing 4 of him is worthy in this particular deck because he can get clunky, and the 2 cost AP I feel like is a nice round out of the 3. When I see him, he's a threat, and it's mid-range. We're looking at threats right here. Boom. I'm dropping this Kenpachi, you're looking at a threat. I'm dropping this Kenpachi, you're looking at a threat that has to be answered. And I like it because by the time your opponent starts seeing their cards and they start seeing their flow, they have to answer these cards. They have to answer them. And they're going to waste their resources by the time you get your Yamamoto out. So this is what this sole purpose is to be a threat in the mid-range. Then for our 5 cost is going to be also our color trigger, and it is going to be Old Man Yamato, the 5 cost Old Man Yamato with a 4,000 BP. The color trigger for green will be to play a 2 cost 1 AP green creature monster character from your hand to the field, and he's just busted. He went and another thing I like about him is that when he played in the front line, he generates energy, so it's like extra energy in the front. And it's kind of similar to what Melody can do, but this right here, I mean, being a 4K body, his secondary effect is on my turn. If he wins battles versus other characters in battle, it does not send them to the sideline. It'll remove them from the game. So he has a banish mechanic. So if he attacks and he kills a monster, he's banishing that monster. He has 1 energy in the front, and if he's hit out of the trigger, you're getting value out of it. And he's my raid target, so I'm looking at that. There's total of 4. I run 6 raid targets for the Yamamoto. And then right here, another MVP of the deck you got to run 4 of is Unohana. Unohana is so broken. She gives you so much value. You can get her out. And people don't understand how well you can just ramp your mana. And in this, you can ramp your mana to be set by turn 2. By your 3rd turn, you're out here swinging. It can happen. Depends on how risky of a plays you can happen, but there are plays out there that literally can give you setups where you can get your creatures out. You can even get Old Man Yamato out on turn 3. The only thing is this your resources on the bottom, you know, your energy line. You gotta be mindful of it, but you can. If I'm swinging 6 damage, super early, depending on play style, but it's possibilities. It's possible in this deck. So with the Yamamoto, as I said, for my color trigger, we're looking into the Unohana, and this is the evil Unohana. This is that Unohana that was getting that blood flesh, like, you know what I'm saying? This is the Kenpachi-ish version, that the threat that you be seeing only so often. You know, all throughout the anime, you see her as a healer, but you ain't know about her past. And this lady's past, she's a bad lady. So 4,000 BP comes out. It only costs for 6. That's a little bit on the higher side, but once you raid on top of her when played, you can look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and with you can add a character with 4 less affinity. I'm sorry, 4 or less energy, 1 AP. You can add it to your hand, and then the next card that you play out of your hand, with the, I believe it's with the 4, so it has to be within 4 or less for the requirement, comes out your hand with 1 AP less. So essentially, you can add a 4 to your hand, which in the deck is like almost super, super insane. You can play your resources. You can play your energy line, your double energies. You can, and essentially they all cost 1, so you're getting it out for free. Another cool thing is it could be situational, but however, you can even get a Kenpachi out for 1 and pop something on the board. You know, the versatility behind this is just insane. You can get a free Shinji on the field, and boom, you can give another character impact. You can give her impact or her high BP of being 4,000. You know, you can do so many things. You have so much you can do with her, and played right, you get her on the field, you're setting yourself up, and then bam, here we go. We got our big boy. Our big boy. I play 4 copies of him because he's literally just so worth it. I don't know, man, but this deck just wins, in my opinion. If it's piloted correctly, it's done right, you're going to see the results. When this card hits the field, your opponent is crapping bricks, bro. Like, they are looking at it like, wow, this is an immediate threat. Once he gets on the field, he has impact. He is rated. He says, when played, you can choose any 13 Court Squad members from your energy line and move it to the front line. And then once he attacks, all your 13 Court Squads get a buff of 2,000 BP. So you're hitting ridiculous numbers early. If you have a Kenpachi on the field that turns into 5,000, you're hitting for 7,000. If you have Unohana on the field, you have from 4,000 to 6,000. Him himself is 5,000 BP with impact. He's breaking something eventually. The coolest techniques that I've seen is pulling some of the energy line up. Boom, you got a Shinsui hitting for 45 with double damage. Like, you have the other energy drop coming out, hitting another, 5,000, and then giving another character 500. You have so many possibilities, but when he comes out, people are scared. He's an immediate threat on the board. They get rid of him as soon as they can because they know once he swings, the whole squad's swinging. And it's just insane. And as I said, this is my deck recommendation. This deck wins. People see this and they crap bricks, bro, for real. Look at this. You're looking at 4 copies of your final trigger, Bankai. Standard, stand your AP up. And it's a final trigger. And then we have your 4 kill special triggers for sidelining. And then he basically simple sideline something with 3,000 BP. If Yamamoto's on the board, it goes up to 5,000. So a lot of the time,